is how we can build the strongest Chisa in Wuthering Waves. Alright, so what is Havoc Bane? It's a negative status that stacks up to 3 times. Each stack reduces the enemy's defense by 2%. So at 3 stacks, you'll be at 6% defense reduced. And thanks to Chisa's outro, increasing the max stacks of all negative status by 3, we will be at 12% defense reduced. You can always see how many negative status stacks you have on an enemy under their HP bar. Chisa can also apply Havoc Bane both on and off field, so that's pretty cool. This was recorded on the media server, so some stuff might change. Just check the pinned comment for updates. Alright, let's start by simplifying her kit. Basic attack, 2-hit combo that does Havoc damage, but you can also change them with these 2 basic attacks here. So you will end up with a 5-hit basic attack combo. To keep it simple, they all deal Havoc damage. You just keep on spamming the basic attack button. The 4th basic attack is the best though, since it not only deals Havoc damage, but it also heals your whole team. You also do more Havoc damage if you keep on spamming the basic attack button, or just hold your heavy attack button during the skill's animation. I recommend doing this for the extra damage. Heavy attack consumes stamina to jump into the air, attacking the enemy, and dealing Havoc damage. You can't use this in her chainsaw mode, so to be honest, I look at her heavy attack as a combo starter since you can use it to do 3 combos. The first one is Hanging Finality. This is just a plunging attack, but instead of jumping, you do a heavy attack and then just do a basic attack to plunge down. You can then do a basic attack to do basic attack stage 4, the one that heals your team. The next combo is her Life Threat Glide. For this one, you just dodge before landing, so heavy attack and then dodge. There are 5 other ways to cast this skill, as you can see here. So what this does is that it pulls all of the marked enemies. So yeah, you can use this for some grouping. You can also hold the dodge button when you do this skilled animation to glide a bit further, but keep in mind that this consumes 50 of her second 40 stacks, the line, so basically half, and you can't use this in the chainsaw mode. The 3rd heavy attack combo is Severed Facet. For this one, you just hold your heavy attack button before landing, so heavy attack and then heavy attack again. This just does Havoc damage, and you can use it to do her plunging attack, the Hanging Finality, just by doing a basic attack. So heavy attack again, and then basic attack. Mid-air attack, the usual jump attack to consume stamina, dealing Havoc damage. If you're not in chainsaw mode, then you can do a basic attack right after for basic attack stage 2. Dodge counter, as always you dodge attack, deal Havoc damage. You can also do a basic attack right after for basic attack stage 3. Dodge counter 2, so dodge and then hold the dodge button to attack and stagnate the enemy, dealing Havoc damage. You can then do a basic attack to do basic attack stage 3, but you don't really use this much since it does less damage than her normal dodge. Skill, deal Havoc damage, slow the enemies, and mark the enemies. The marker has a big range. As you can see, I marked everything. You can do a basic attack right after for basic attack stage 2 if you're in chainsaw mode, and basic attack stage 3 if you're not in chainsaw mode. If you're wondering about the mark, it's basically there so that you can apply Havoc Bane on the enemies when you attack them. Enhanced skill. When her 40 is full, her skill gets enhanced. It slows the enemies, deals Havoc damage, pulls the enemies, and it also puts her in her chainsaw mode. You can either hold or tap her skill button. So if you hold it, then she will keep on attacking and pulling the enemies until it eventually ends, and then she'll do enhanced basic attack 1. But if you just tap it, then you can do enhanced basic attack stage 2. Only use the hold version when you want to group enemies since it does less damage than the tap version, and it also marks the enemies. So yup, Havoc Bane. But her enhanced skill is mainly there to enter her chainsaw mode. Ultimate, deal Havoc damage, heal the team, and put her in her enhanced mode for 15 seconds, which increases the multipliers of her enhanced basic attacks and enhanced dodge counters by 120%. You can also end this by using her finisher, which is her enhanced basic attack stage 4. What does her chainsaw mode do? It gives her enhanced basic attacks and dodge counters that consume 40 stacks on hit. The more 40 stacks that you consume, the more damage your 4th enhanced basic attack will do. So to keep it simple, her normal mode, the scissors, is where she generates 40 stacks, and then her chainsaw mode is where she consumes 40 stacks. Enhanced basic attacks. So Chisa has 4 enhanced basic attacks that deal Havoc damage. Now when it comes to her enhanced basic attacks, I could explain what they individually do, but that would just confuse you more and it will help you. So I recommend just holding your heavy attack button to consume all of your 40 stacks instead of just spamming your basic attacks. The more 40 stacks that you consume, the more damage her 4th enhanced basic attack will do. So when you use her 4th enhanced basic attack, it will consume all of your 40 stacks, and her ultimate enhanced state, deal Havoc damage and give your whole team a shield. The damage is considered as resonance liberation damage, and the shield scales with her 40 level, and her attack. Enhanced dodge counter, it's a usual dodge attack, deal Havoc damage. You can then do a basic attack for enhanced basic attack stage 3. Forte. So when it comes to her forte, she has 2 bars. Ring of Chainsaw, this is her main forte bar. She can have up to 100 stacks. How do you get 40 stacks? You can get 40 stacks by hitting enemies with your basic attacks. Her normal skill, her ultimate gives her 40 stacks, and her intro gives her 20 stacks. Jetstream, it's a line under her forte. It's mainly used for gliding. She can have up to 100 stacks of it. How do you get Jetstream stacks? You get them over time. You get 100 when you defeat an enemy, or 100 when you leave chainsaw mode. Chainsaw fever. So this basically replaces jet stream when she enters her chainsaw mode. It's like a timer that activates when you don't do any damage for a while. Just keep on doing damage and it will go up again. Once it reaches 0, she will enter her burnout mode and lose all 40 stacks. You can also exit burnout mode by using your intro or ultimate. I don't think that you need to worry about this in the endgame modes since you always have something to attack. So it's only there for the overworld. Now let's talk about her mark and how she can apply Havoc Bane. So to apply Havoc Bane, you first have to mark the enemy, and to do that you can either use your skill to mark multiple enemies, use your enhanced skill to mark multiple enemies with her dodge counter 2, the one where you hold dodge, and finally when you lock onto an enemy. So it's the middle mouse button on PC, and I think there's a button for it on mobile. Anyways, the enemies will stay marked for 30 seconds, and every time a marked enemy is hit by your team, Chisa inflicts 1 stack of Havoc Bane on them every 2 seconds. I recommend locking onto enemies if it's a boss, and to just use your normal skill if there's a lot of enemies, to keep it simple. Intro, attack the enemy, dealing Havoc damage. You can do a basic attack right after for basic attack stage 2. Outro, so for 20 seconds the max stacks of all negative status, and Electro Rage on hit enemies is increased by 3 for 15 seconds. And then we also have Thread of Bane, so every time a character in your team does negative status damage or inflicts negative status on a marked enemy, they ignore 18% of the enemy's defense. Yup, Zani can use this too since she does negative status damage. You also don't lose this when you swap off characters. So how do you activate a character's intro or outro? Well, if you look down here, each character has another bar called the conserver bar. You don't share it. Everyone gets their own conserver bar and the value stays the same. When you change characters, you can fill up the conserver bar by hitting enemies with different attacks. So each attack gives you a different amount of conserver energy, which you can always see down here in the skill details. So yeah, ultimate gives 20, skill 15. You can always check it down here. And once you fill up the conserver bar all the way, all of your characters on the right will glow. And once you switch your character, the character who's leaving the field will activate their outro, and the character entering the field will activate their intro. Inherent skill number 1. When a marked enemy is defeated, the cooldown of Chisa skill is reset. You can do this once every 3 seconds. Inherent skill number 2. When you use Chisa's intro or ultimate, she gains 20% Havoc and 20% healing bonus for 12 seconds. And then we have this thing here. It's pretty good for vampiring waste. So when characters on your team that have Thread of Bane, which is again the 18% defense ignore, so when they defeat a marked enemy, Chisa will get sight of unraveling for 3 seconds, which will basically mark hit enemies. They will stay marked for 30 seconds, so you can apply more Havoc Bane stacks. Alright, so how does Chisa work? Well, you first mark all of the enemies with her skill, or lock onto the enemies if they're boss. After that, you just fill her 40 bar with your basic attacks on ultimate, and then use her enhanced skill once her 40 is full to enter her chainsaw mode. Once in chainsaw mode, you can just hold your heavy attack button to consume all of your 40 stacks. And yeah, outro, pretty simple. When it comes to healing, her ultimate and basic attack stage 4 is where she heals. As for the shield, you get that after you use her enhanced basic attack stage 4. If you're confused right now, then don't worry, you will understand her a lot better once we get to her rotations. So when it comes to her skill priority, her 40 is the most important one. All of the important multipliers are right here, even her team-wide shield. Next you have her ultimate for a good damage and also the healing. And then you can just level her basic attacks and her skill. As for the intro, just keep it at 6 since it can get pretty expensive with the weekly boss match, and it doesn't really contribute much to her damage. When it comes to her weapons, her signature weapon is of course her best in slot weapon. High crit rate, so they had to lower the attack. 24% liberation damage bonus, which is again most of her damage. And if characters in your team can inflict negative statuses, then they will gain a 24% all attribute damage bonus for 15 seconds, which is elements for new players. If you're planning on putting this for your Zani team, well, it doesn't really work with her since she can't apply negative statuses. She can only do negative status damage. When it comes to the Cartethyia team, if you want Chisa to be better than your Aero Rover in the Aero Rover team, then yeah, pull this. Her second best option is Lupa signature weapon with a 24% liberation damage bonus, which is again most of her damage. As for the rest, just use whatever you have, like Jinhsi signature weapon, Qiuyuan signature weapon, or Augusta signature weapon. If you don't have any of those, then yeah, you can always just give her a standard 5-star Broad Blade. I don't really have any of the 4 stars on this account, so yeah. So this is the damage comparison between all of her weapons. The 4 stars too. Just use what you have. Next, echoes. Okay, this thing looks pretty cool. Look at this, guys. Anyways, when it comes to her echo set, you have 2 options. The best one, of course, is her signature echo set, the thread of severed fate. It even has her scissors, so it increases your attack by 20% and liberation damage bonus by 30% for 5 seconds. When you inflict Havoc Bane onto the enemies, and since this is a 3-piece echo set, you will need 2 pieces of another set. I recommend any set that gives you Havoc damage bonus, like the Midnight Veil, Havoc damage bonus, or the old Havoc Eclipse set, 10%. You can also use a 2-piece Lingering Tunes for a 10% attack, or if you need ER, then yeah, Moonlit Clouds or Pathbreaking Courage, Imperial Anthem, they all give ER, but I would recommend the Havoc 2 pieces. Other than her signature set, you can also give her the Rejuvenating Glow set, since she can heal, or if you're new to the game and you don't have her new set yet, then yeah, just give her this. When it comes to the forecast on a new set, you want this sword here. It gives her 12% Havoc and 12% liberation damage bonus if you have it equipped up here. As for Rejuvenating Glow, we have the Bellborn Qiuyuan. I recommend this one over the Fallacy of No Return, since it gives you the 10% damage boost, which everybody can use. But when it comes to the Fallacy of No Return, it gives you 10% attack, which yeah, Cartethyia doesn't really need. I mean, even the 3-piece gives you attack, which again, Cartethyia doesn't really need. So yeah, this will be her best set and best forecast. When it comes to the Echo main stats, we have the usual crit damage or crit rate on the forecast. It just depends on your weapon. Double Havoc or Havoc plus attack on the 3 cost. And then finally double attack on the 1 cost. When it comes to substats, you want 130% ER for smooth rotations, crit damage and crit rate, attack, flat attack and attack percent, and liberation damage bonus, since that is most of her damage. When it comes to recommended stats, you want 2000 attack, 70% crit rate, 240% crit damage, 130% ER, and 30% liberation damage bonus. When it comes to her teams, well, since Chisa prefers teams with negative status characters, she only has 2 negative statuses to work with on release. So first, the Aero Erosion team with Cartethyia, Ciaccona, and of course, Chisa. Okay, that's too many C's. C. But yeah, this will be her best team on release, and she's only better than Aero Rover in this team if you have her signature weapon. But yeah, other than that, this team has pretty good grouping and quick swapping. Since you don't lose the outer buffs and you swap off them, you can also do Cartethyia, Chisa, and the Shorekeeper, or Cartethyia, Aero Rover, and Chisa. If you don't have Ciaccona, but yeah, this team is not her best team, just pull Ciaccona for your Cartethyia. That would be a way better pull for your Cartethyia team than Chisa. As for the Spectrofazzle team, we have Zani, Phoebe, and Chisa. I know Zani won't get Chisa's weapon buff, but this team still works. But when it comes to this team, Spectre Rover or a Shorekeeper would be better than Chisa. And then if you don't have Zani, then you can use Phoebe, Spectre Rover, and Chisa. Sequences are weapon. Let's start with S1. She becomes immune to interruption during these attacks, and when Chisa marks an enemy, her attack is increased by 30% for 15 seconds. She also deals 61803. Wait, isn't this the golden ratio? I mean, she also has it in her ultimate, so yeah, it's probably a reference for that. Anyway, she deals a fixed 61k Havoc damage to the enemy, but this attack can't lower the enemy's HP lower than 61%, and each enemy can only take this damage once. You also can't buff the damage of this attack, so even if the enemy is level 1, but like 5 HP, you can't like one-shot them with this. They're still gonna have 61% HP. S2, a good stopping point. She ignores 10% of the enemy's Havoc resistance when dealing damage, and all of the characters on your team that have Thread of Bane get a 50% all attribute damage bonus. Pretty good. S3, for chainsaw modes, multipliers are increased by 120%, and then the 50% reduction rate for the vibration strength, which is like the white line under the enemy's HP. S4, Chisa now applies Havoc Bane every 1 second instead of 2 seconds. S5, her liberation gets a 100% damage bonus, and her glide attack costs 50% less 40 stacks, so you can do 4 now instead of 2. S6, if she takes a fatal blow when she's doing these attacks, her HP won't go to 0, it will go to 1 HP, but this here is the big part of her S6, the main reason why you want it. Marked enemies take 30% more damage from negative statuses, and then they also take 40% more damage from Chisa. So I would recommend getting her signature first, and then getting her S2 for a team buff, and S3 if you want Chisa to do more damage. S4 and 5 aren't really that worth it in my opinion. And then yeah, S6 is a big one. So yeah, there's a damage comparison between all of her sequences. When it comes to her rotations, she has 2 rotations. One is the opener, where you don't need an intro, since you start with her first. And then the second one is her loop rotation, where you intro into her. So yeah, no intro, you use her skill to mark all of the enemies, and it puts you in her basic attack tree. So you do a basic attack, which you didn't cancel with her ultimate. After that, you spam your basic attack till her 40 is full. Make sure to hold your heavy attack when she's doing the scissor attack to do more damage. Use her echo, and now that your 40 is full, you use her enhanced skill to enter her chainsaw mode, and then just hold your heavy attack button until all of your 40 stacks are consumed, you didn't do the finisher, which gives you this shield. It's this yellow line on your HP bar. And then yeah, you can swap off her with the outro. The second rotation is basically the same, but this time you use her intro. 3 basics. Remember to hold your heavy attack button. Cancel it with her ultimate. Echo, skill, hold, and outro. So she worth pulling? Well, I would say that right now, since we only have 2 negative status teams, her value isn't that high, but I feel like it will go up once Kuro releases more negative status teams. I mean, why else would they like suddenly update all of the negative statuses? People call her the showkeeper of negative status teams for a reason, since she can fit in all of the negative status teams and also provide some value, or free up your rover or showkeeper. But yeah, I wouldn't blame you if you get her on a rerun. We don't even know the 3.0 characters yet, so if they have negative statuses in their kit and you need Chisa to unlock their max potential, then yeah, I could see why people would regret skipping her. She could be the best thing that you pull in 3.0. If this video helped you, then you can help me by liking and subscribing. Make sure to join the Discord server for the Asterites giveaway. Link in the pinned comment. Just click on the giveaway channel and then yeah, react to the message. Press this button here and then yeah, enjoy the Asterites. And you can also get a free to play or forced to pay tag on our Discord server for free just by joining. You can use this tag everywhere. Have a wonderful rest of your day or night, and thank you so much for watching.